Welcome to Mrs. Bays' 6th grade math video lesson. This lesson series is on rational numbers, and this is the first video in this series. Let's begin by looking at vocabulary. First is integers, and if you would remember from the prior week, integers are numbers that are whole numbers. Whole numbers start at 0 and increase 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. And they are the opposites. So that would be -1, -2, -3, -4, etc. Please notice there are no fractions and no decimals when we refer to integers. Absolute value. Absolute value is asking you to consider how far the number is from 0. So the absolute symbols are 2 lines. Sometimes they're a little thicker, sometimes they slant a little bit, but either case, this is the absolute value symbol. So if I put in a 3 in the absolute value symbol, how far is 3 from 0? Well, that's 3 units. And if I would ask for the absolute value of -3, again, I need to know how far is -3 from 0. And that's also 3. Notice the absolute value must always be a positive number because distance is positive. Now let's look at the inequality symbols, the ones that we will be working with. This symbol is greater than, this is less than, and equal to. Let's look at some examples. Integer inequalities with absolute value. So let's look at the first one. We have the absolute value of -3 compared to -9. I highly recommend that we consider a number line. So in Google Classroom, you will see that I've added some reference sheets, and the first one we're going to look at is my number line, -10 to 10. So here, let's see if we can see both of these at the same time. All right, here's the absolute value of -3. What is the absolute value of -3? Well, it's 3. So now let's go to the number line and let's plot -3, which means we're going to put a dot. I'm sorry, not -3, +3. Let's put a dot on 3 and on -9. So -9 is to the left of 0. And now let's look at these two locations on a number line. 3 is greater than -9 because it's on the right side of -9. So 3 is greater. Let's look at number 2. This is the absolute value of -6. So how far is -6 from 0? Well, that's +6. And the absolute value of -8. How far is -8 from 0? That's 8. So let's go to our number line and let's plot 6. So that's a nice big dot on 6 and another big dot on 8. So now we look at these two and we see that 6 is less than 8 because the number line, as we go to the right, the numbers get larger or bigger. So 6 is less than 8. Okay, let's look at the last example for integer inequalities. This is -5, but notice no absolute value symbol. So we're going to stick with a -5. So on my number line, -5 is to the left of 0. Put my dot there. And now let's look at the absolute value of 3. So how far is 3 from 0? That is 3. So let's go to the number line and let's find 3 and put a dot on it. And now compare. -5 is less than 3. Again, I highly recommend that when you're doing inequality, especially with the absolute value and integers, meaning positive and negative numbers, that you consider the number line. Let's look at another example. This is word problems with absolute value and integers. The year 1977 was one of the coldest in the United States. The table shows the low temperatures of 3 cities on December 11th, 1977. Here's the table. The cities are Chicago, Indianapolis, and Philadelphia. The low temperatures, 21, -8, and 19. Okay, so let's look at these 3 questions and use the table to help us answer them. Number 1, which city has a temperature farthest from 0? So that's an absolute value question. Let's think about this and consider a number line. If farthest from 0, 21, how far is that from 0? -8, how far is -8 from 0? And how far is 19 from 0? So which city, which temperature is the farthest from 0? Well, 21 would be farthest from 0, and the city then is Chicago. Next question. Which city has the lowest temperature? Now, this is not asking how far from 0, it just wants to know the lowest temperature. So again, thinking about a number line, 21 and 19 would be to the right of 0. -8 would be to the left of 0. That means -8 is the lowest of the 3 temperatures. So that means the city would be Indianapolis. And the last question, which city has the highest, meaning the highest temperature? That would be the number, that would be the highest number or farthest to the right of 0. So to the right of 0 would be 21 or 19. So between these 2 numbers, which one is the higher number? Well, it's Chicago. 21 is higher than 19, so Chicago, again, is the answer for this question. So when you're looking at word problems, you're going to have to take some time and think about a number line and figure out, is it asking you about absolute value, how far the number is from 0, or are you considering higher and lower? And that's how you determine your answer. Now let's look at the practice I would like for you to do. I want you to go to IXL, 6th grade, do M.9, integer inequalities with absolute value, and do IXL, 6th grade, M.10, absolute value and integers word problems. Please remember, I want you to work to get an 80%, which is full credit. If you work more to get 100%, you will get a bonus point. Thank you.